Hello, good morning, and welcome to this guided relaxation experience on Burnalong. I'm so glad that you're here today. Welcome. What a perfect day to relax. Wherever you are, I'd like you to find a place where you can feel free to let yourself go. A place as free from distractions as possible. And then once you've found that place, decide whether you'll sit, stand, or lie down. Feel free to use pillows or blankets to prop yourself up. Use essential oils to aid in the relaxation process. And feel free to adjust the lighting, the temperature, anything you can change to make it even more peaceful for you. In today's relaxation, we'll be focusing on a couple of different exercises to relax, including the 5 elements relaxation, and perhaps some body scan relaxation that we'll start with. So once you've found that place, perhaps you'd like to close your eyes or keep your eyes open, but just let your eye muscles relax. Especially if you've been running around today so far, or you've been very busy, or your mind has been very occupied. Let's take these few moments to release any stress or tension. Let go of that idea that you have to run or solve a million things. In this moment, your only goal is to be present with yourself. So setting aside everything that happened before this moment, giving yourself permission to relax and let go. Now, I'd like you to think of a very peaceful and relaxing color. Maybe that's your favorite color, or maybe that's some other color that calls to you today. See if you can get a clear image of that color in your mind. And then using your imagination, imagine that the space around you is completely filled with this color. And now using your imagination, imagine that that color is entering your body through your toes. See if you can feel the color moving through your toes, filling up your toes, and then moving down the bottoms of your feet, down through the balls of the feet, the arches of the feet, all the way back to your heels. See if you can feel the muscles in your feet starting to release. Imagine the color moving through the tops of your feet, and then filling up everything in between. Again, all of the muscles of your feet, letting go. Imagine the color continuing to move up, filling up your ankles, moving up into your lower legs, moving through your calves, your shins, through the sides of your lower legs, feel the color moving up into your knees, moving up into your upper legs, moving through your quadriceps, your hamstrings, through your inner thighs and outer thighs, noticing any sensations in your legs. Perhaps your legs feel like they're floating, or maybe they feel very heavy, melting towards the earth. Or maybe they don't feel anything out of the ordinary at all, and that's okay too. Feel the color moving up through your hips, through your glutes, all the way up to your waist, so that your whole lower body is filled with this color and feeling as relaxed as it can feel in this moment. Check in with your breath and see if your breath would like to slow down even more. See if your breath would like to deepen. As if you don't have a care in the world. So that you can completely immerse yourself in this moment. Now, returning your awareness back to the color, imagine the color moving up into your upper body. Imagine it moving up your spine and spreading out through your rib cage. Imagine it filling your internal organs, especially your heart and lungs. Imagine the color moving up through the front of your torso, through your stomach, your chest, moving up through the sides of your torso, your oblique muscles, all the way up to the armpits. And then turn your attention to your back itself. Imagine the color moving up through your lower back, through your middle back, through your shoulder blades, and through your upper back. As you feel your torso completely relaxing. Now let's focus in on your shoulders for a few moments. Notice how your shoulders feel. And imagine the color moving through them, moving all around the shoulder muscles, the fronts, the backs, the tops, and the sides. And especially if you've been feeling like you've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, give yourself permission to let them go, relaxing completely. Now, allow the color to move down your arms, as if melting down through your upper arms, down through your elbows, down through your forearms, down through your wrists, into your hands, as you feel the color moving through your palms, the backs of your hands, and into each finger and thumb. All the tiny muscles in your fingers just going loose. Now, bringing your awareness up to your neck. Focus on your neck for a few moments. How has your neck been feeling? And imagine your neck completely relaxing. Feel the color moving up through the front of your neck, the sides of your neck, and of course the back of your neck as well. And then allowing the color to move up into your head and face, moving up through your chin and jaw, through all the parts of your mouth, your gums and teeth, your tongue and lips, moving up through the cheeks of the face, out through the ears and the temples, through the nose, the eyes, eyelids, and eyebrows, moving through your forehead, moving through the sides of your head, the back of your head, the top of your head, and everything in between, so that your whole body is filled with this very peaceful color. Take a moment to feel this color moving through your body. Notice that each moment of awareness of this color increases your relaxation response, so that no matter what's happening around you, if there's activity, if there are noises, each sound, each activity is just a reminder to come back to relaxation. good. As we continue, be aware of your breath. Peaceful, gentle. Be aware that your breath is the one thing that connects us all, that connects you to every other living creature on this planet. And now bringing your awareness back to your feet, filled with the color, being aware of any sensations in your body, but especially in your feet. And now I'd invite you to imagine that your feet are planted firmly on the earth. Now some of you might actually be outside and you might be able to have your feet on the earth. But if you're not, using your imagination now, imagine that you're in an outdoor place. Maybe your feet are on the sand of a beach, or the soil of a forest, or the rocky terrain of a mountain, or the dry desert, or even on an ice cap. Using your imagination to plant your feet firmly on the earth, so that your feet connect you to the land. Over the next few moments, I'm going to ask you to use your imagination to think about different aspects of nature. You can paint a picture in your mind if you like, or you could even imagine yourself being there, witnessing what we're talking about. Or if you're feeling good right where you are, you don't have to imagine anything. This experience is all about what feels good for you. The first element of nature I'm going to ask you to think about is water. So in your mind, I'm going to ask you to think of some sort of body of water. This could be giant, like an ocean, or it could be a lake, or a stream, or a pond, or a swampy area. It could be a trickling brook, a waterfall, some element of nature involving water. And again, taking this time to either paint a picture of it very detailed in your mind, or use your mind to transport yourself so that you're right near that body of water. As you observe this body of water, I'd invite you now to think of the emotion fear. Is there anything that you've been afraid of or worried about? And using your imagination now, imagine that that water washes away the fear. The next element I'd invite you to think about is the element of wood. So using your imagination now, picturing yourself in a forest, picturing yourself in front of giant trees or even tiny treelings just starting out on their journey on this earth. These could be trees that you know, your favorite trees. It could be even trees that you've never seen before. It could be one tree or a million trees. Again, here now, painting the picture in your mind in as much detail as possible about this wood, or imagining transporting yourself right into this wood, standing in the forest or next to the forest or tree. Notice what it feels like to be near this wood. And now, thinking about the emotion, anger. If there's anything that you've been angry about, frustrated about, stressed about, anything that doesn't feel fair or right or just. This could be very specific, something that you've been angry about. Or it could just be a general anger. Maybe yours, or maybe anger from the world. And now imagine that the trees, the wood, are reaching out, taking away this anger and frustration. Imagine the trees reaching out with their branches, removing the anger and frustration, and releasing it through their roots down into the earth, where the emotion just fades away. Now, the next element of nature that I'd ask you to consider is the one that we call earth. And it has to do with soil specifically. Whatever soil you're thinking of, again, it could be the soil of a forest, or the soil of a mountain, or the soil or sand of a beach. In your mind, I'd invite you to think about the land itself, the soil, perhaps painting a very clear picture in your mind, or imagining yourself actually on the soil. And the emotion or the sensations I'd ask you to be aware of now have to do with worry, anxiety. Has there been anything that you've been worried about? It could be something very specific, or it could just be general worry and anxiety affecting the world. And as you think about this worry or anxiety, now imagine it releasing into the earth, as if the molecules of the soil are reaching up, grabbing this worry, anxiety, and sinking it down like quicksand, where the earth processes and releases it. Imagining yourself releasing worry and anxiety. The fourth element of nature I'd ask you to be aware of is metal. We think of metal sometimes as being hard, stationary, but metal comes from the earth. So now thinking in your mind about something metal. It could be a big chunk of metal, a specific shape of metal. It could be a metal structure, like a tower or a building. It could be naturally formed or human-made. Take a moment to think about something metal and paint a very detailed picture of that in your mind, or even imagine yourself standing near that metal. As you feel metal, think about the emotion, sadness. Think about grief. Is there something that you're grieving or something you've been sad about? It could be something very specific, or it could be general sadness or grief of the universe. As if that emotion now is magnetized, imagine the metal drawing it in, pulling that sadness and grief away from you, away from other humans and animals and plants. And imagine that metal conducting it down to the earth, where the earth processes and releases that emotion. See yourself releasing sadness and grief. Now, the last element of nature I'd invite you to think about is that of fire. Fire can be a destructive force in our world, especially now. It can be very upsetting to think about fire. But in the universal balance, fire has a place. It can provide warmth. And even when it's destructive, it can open up space for new things. So I'd invite you now to think about something, some kind of fire. It could be a candle. It could be a bonfire or fire pit. It could be a very well-contained fire that's controlled. See if you can get a clear image of fire in your mind. And as you think about fire, think about the emotion of joy. Think about a sense of peace, of light, of intuition. And imagine the energy, the warmth of this fire increasing, drawing peace and joy and light and more intuition into your being, so that as we wrap up our time together today, imagine a sense of peace and joy growing in you and around you. And as you move on to the rest of your day, I'd invite you to bring with you this sense of peace, joy, and wonder of the world around us. As always, I thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for coming to this class, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Namaste.